Hello guys, and today we will be counting down the top 10 most selling PC games of all time. So before watching the video, be sure to click the subscribe button. At number 10 we have Sims 3 with a total of 7.72 million copies sold. The Sims 3 was a commercial success, selling 1.4 million copies in its first week. Critics issued mostly positive reviews, with a 86/10 score from aggregator Metacritic. The game has sold over 10 million copies worldwide since its 2009 release, making it one of the best-selling PC games of all time. The last of 11 expansion packs, Into the Future, was released in October 2013. A sequel, The Sims 4, was released in September 2014. Number 9 on our list is Half-Life from Valve with a total of 9.3 million copies sold guys. Half-Life is a first-person shooter that requires the player to perform combat tasks and puzzle-solving to advance through the game. Unlike most of its peers at the time, Half-Life used scripted sequences, such as a vortigout ramming down a door, to advance major plot points. Compared to most first-person shooters of the time, which relied on cutscene intermissions to detail their plot lines, Half-Life's story is told entirely by means of scripted sequences, keeping the player in control of the first-person viewpoint. In line with this, the game has no cutscenes, and the player rarely loses the ability to control Gordon, who never speaks and is never actually seen in the game. The player sees through his eyes for the entire length of the game. Half-Life has no levels, it instead divides the game into chapters, whose titles flash on the screen as the player moves through the game. Progress through the world is continuous, except for short pauses for loading. Number 8 is Half-Life 2 with 9.4 million copies sold. Like its predecessor, Half-Life 2 is a single-player first-person shooter broken into several chapters, permanently casting the player as the protagonist Gordon Freeman. The sequel has nearly the same mechanics as Half-Life, including health and weapon systems and periodic physics puzzles, except with the newer Source engine and improved graphics. The player also starts without items, slowly building up an arsenal over the course of the game. Despite the game's mainly linear nature, much effort was put into making exploration rewarding and interesting. Many optional areas can be missed or avoided. Next at number 7 is Garry's Mod with a 10 million copies sold. Although Garry's Mod is listed as a full game, the base game mode Sandbox has no set objectives and instead gives the player the freedom to manipulate ragdolls or props such as furniture, shipping containers and dumpsters. Props and ragdolls can be selected and placed into the sandbox from any installed Source engine game or from community-created collections, such as PHX-3 for props and Civil Protection model packs for ragdolls. An important tool offered to the player, the physics gun, allows for props and ragdolls to be picked up, rotated, and frozen in place. Another important implement, the tool gun, is a multi-purpose tool for performing various tasks, such as constraining props together, creating interactive buttons, and creating controllable winches and wheels. It can also be used to change the facial expression and pose the digits of a ragdoll. The tool gun can also be used to control and use add-ons created by the community, which can be only accessed through the Steam Workshop. At number 6 is StarCraft with a total of 11 million copies sold. The story focuses on the activities of the three species in a part of the Milky Way known as the Karpulu sector. Millennia before any of the events of the games, a species known as the Xi-Eliga genetically engineered the Protoss and later the Zerg in attempts to create pure beings. These experiments backfire and the Xi-Eliga are largely destroyed by the Zerg. Centuries before the beginning of StarCraft in 2499, the hardline International Government of Earth, the United Earth Directorate, UED, commissions a colonizatio program as part of a solution to overpopulation. However, the computers automating the colony ships malfunction, propelling the Terra colonists far off course to the edge of Protoss space. Out of contact with Earth, they form various factions to maintain their interests. Intrigued by the behavior and mentality of the Terrans, the Protoss remain hidden to examine the humans, while protecting them from other threats without their knowledge. However, the Zerg target the Terrans for assimilation to harness their psioic potential, forcing the Protoss to destroy tainted Terra colonies to contain the Zerg infestation. Next at number 5 is The Sims with 11.24 million copies sold. The Sims uses a combination of 3D and 2D graphics techniques. The Sims themselves are rendered in 3D, whereas the house and all its objects are pre-rendered and displayed diametrically. While gameplay occurs in the game's live mode, the player may enter build mode or buy mode to pause time and renovate the house or lot. When the game begins, each family will start off with 20,000 simoleons, regardless of its number of members. These funds can be used to purchase a small house or vacant lot on the neighborhood screen. Once a lot is purchased, a house may be constructed or remodeled in build mode, and / or purchase or move furniture in the buy mode. All architectural features and furnishings customizable in the build and buy modes follow a square tile system in which items must be placed on a tile. Walls and fences go on the edge of a tile and can follow the edge of the tile or cross it, but furniture items cannot be placed on either side of a crossed tile. The base game contains over 150 items including furniture and architectural elements. Number 4 on our list is Diablo 3 with 12 million copies sold. Much like in Diablo and Diablo 2, the quality and attributes of equipment are randomized. In addition to base stats, such as damage and attack speed for weapon or armor points on armor, higher quality items have additional properties, such as extra damage, attribute bonuses, bonuses to critical hit chance or sockets, which allow items to be upgraded and customized by adding gems for various stat bonuses. Magic quality items have 1 to 3 random properties, rare quality items have 4 to 6 random properties, and legendary quality items typically have 6 to 8 properties with varying degrees of randomness. For example, the Mempo of Twilight, a legendary helm, always has a socket. Bonuses to elemental resistance, attack speed and life, a bonus to either intelligence, dexterity or strength, and 1 additional random property. However, the magnitude of these bonuses varies from item to item, and set items are a subtype of legendary items which provide additional, cumulative bonuses if multiple items from the same set are simultaneously equipped. High-level monsters tend to drop higher-level items, which tend to have higher base stats and bonuses. At number 3 we have the first-person shooter classic Counter-Strike with 12.5 million copies sold. Counter-Strike, officially abbreviated as CS, is a series of multiplayer first-person shooter video games, in which teams of terrorists and counter-terrorists battle to, respectively, perpetrate an act of terror, bombing, hostage-taking, and prevent it, bomb defusal, hostage rescue. The series began on Windows in 1999 with the first version of Counter-Strike. It was initially released as a modification for Half-Life and designed by Min Goosemuller and Jess Clifcliffe, before the rights to the game's intellectual property were acquired by Valve Corporation, the developers of Half-Life. At number 2 is World Osmium Warcraft with 14 million copies sold. As with other MMORPGs, players control a character avatar within a game world in third or first-person view, exploring the landscape, fighting various monsters, completing quests, and interacting with non-player characters, NPCs, or other players. Also similar to other MMORPGs, World of Warcraft requires the player to pay for a subscription, either by buying prepaid game cards for a selected amount of playing time or by using a credit or debit card to pay on a regular basis. Players may instead use a trial account that lets the player character reach level 20 for free but has many features locked. And last but not the least, the first place is taken by Minecraft with a total of 25 million copies sold. Minecraft is a 3-dimensional sandbox game that has no specific goals for the player to accomplish, allowing players a great amount of freedom in choosing how to play the game. However, there is an achievement system. 15. Gameplay by default is first person, but players have the option to play in third person mode. The core gameplay revolves around breaking and placing blocks. The game world is composed of rough 3D objects, mainly cubes, arranged in a fixed grid pattern and representing different materials, such as dirt, stone, various ores, water, lava, tree trunks, etc. While players can move freely across the world, objects can only be placed at fixed locations on the grid. Players can gather these material blocks and place them elsewhere, thus allowing for various constructions. Thanks for watching this video and please subscribe, like and share.